ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೇಂಟ್ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲವ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ में. Here we are starting off with the problems based upon the electricity chapter. Okay, I want to start with some basic problems, and then later I will solve the problems from your textbook. So take the first one, note down the first one. A current of 150 milliampere, a current of 150 milliampere flows through a circuit, flows through a circuit for 2 minutes. Flows through a circuit for 2 minutes. Find the amount of charge that flows through the circuit. Find the amount of charge that flows through the circuit. Yes. So here they have given the current that is 150 milliampere, the time, the time for which the current flows through the circuit, and they ask you to calculate what amount of charge is through flows through the circuit. So it is to be noted here that current is given in terms of milliampere. So it has to be converted to ampere. How how to convert it? Just convert that milli in terms of 10 raised to, okay? So it becomes 150 into 10 raised to minus 3. Then time is in terms of minute. You have to convert it to second by multiplying it with 60. Then it will be 120 second. Okay. After making these conversions only, you can able to use the formula related with the current, and you can find the charge, amount of charge. Okay. So we know one basic formula related to current, that is I is equal to Q divided by T. Now I want the value of Q, therefore Q is equal to I into T. Then substitute the values. I is 150 milliampere, that is 150 into 10 raised to minus 3. Time is 120 second. Now just to multiply 15 and 12. 15 tens are 150 and 30 180. Yes, 180, and then 2 more zeros into 10 raised to minus 3. Right. So these three zeros are adjusted for 10 raised to minus 3, because 10 raised to minus 3 is nothing but, it is nothing but 1 divided by 1000. Hence three zeros are cancelled. Then finally 18 coulomb will be the charge or the amount of charge which flows through the circuit. Okay. So any problem, any doubt regarding this? See, if you know how to adjust this 10 raised to that exponential number, then it becomes very easy. You can directly write it as 18 coulomb. If you don't know, then if it is positive number, you have to multiply the 1000 in numerator only. If if you have negative power, then that number has to be taken in the denominator. It is multiplied with the denominator. Okay. Yes. Have the solution. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Hope you have taken. Hope you have taken the solution.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes, sir.
let us move to the next problem. Second problem. Note down the second problem. A total of a total of 6 into 10 raised to 46 electrons. A total of 6 into 10 raised to 46 electrons flows through a current carrying conductor flows through a current carrying conductor when connected through an external power supply for 20 seconds. For 20 seconds, find the value of the current in the conductor. Find the value of the current in the conductor. I repeat it. Just
Sir, value of
go through the question. I repeat it. A total of 6 into 10 raised to 46 electrons flow through a current carrying conductor when connected through an external power supply for 20 seconds. Find the value of current in the conductor. Okay, I hope you have taken the question. See, here they have given the number of electrons. First, the number of electrons is noted. It is n is equal to 6 into 10 raised to 46. Then for how much of time the electrons are flowing through the conductor, it is for 20 seconds. Therefore, T is equal to 20 seconds. Now they ask you to find the value of the current. I is equal to how much? See, I can be calculated only when if I know Q, right? Using the formula I is equal to Q divided by T, I can calculate I if I know Q, isn't it? But here I don't know Q also. Therefore, before going to I, first we have to find what is Q, right? So therefore, here to find Q, we know one relationship which is present between the number of electrons and the total charge. We know that electrons are the fundamental charged particles, and any charge can be expressed in terms of the fundamental charged particles. Already I have explained this concept and I have given the equation related to this. What equation we have? We have Q is equal to N into E. Okay. N is number of electrons and E is charge of one electron, right? And we know that charge of one electron is, it is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Therefore, here Q is equal to 6 into 10 raised to 46 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay, now you multiply 1.6 with 6. 6 6 are 36, 3 6 ones are 9.6 into 10 raised to 46 minus 19, right? You have to subtract. It is 27. So 10 raised to 27 coulomb is the charge. Okay, so in 20 seconds, this much charge will flow through the conductor. 9.6 into 10 raised to 27 coulomb of charge will flow through the conductor. Then how much ampere of current is set up because of this? That can be calculated using the formula I is equal to Q divided by T. Okay, so Q is 9.6 into 10 raised to 27 and T is 20 second. Now just you divide, right? See, this 0 can be adjusted with 27. Okay, so it can be adjusted, and 9.6 can be divided by 2. So it becomes 9.6 divided by 2 into 10 raised to 27 minus 1. Yes, if because only one zero is there, so one zero is made less here. Here 27 zeros are there. In 10 raised to 27, total 27 zeros are there. Among them, one zero is reduced. Therefore, the current will be, it is 2 4 za 8 za, 4.8 into 10 raised to 26 ampere. Okay. So this is the amount of current which flows through the conductor in a time 20 seconds. See, after the calculation, for every calculation, you have to write the unit. If you don't write the proper unit, then you may get lesser marks. Remember. Over. Hope you have written.
Yes, sir.
Every problem in physics, it will be based upon the knowledge of formula and the theoretical knowledge what we have gathered. Okay, if you have the proper knowledge, if you have the idea of how to use the formula, how to make the calculations and all, then very easily you can calculate or you can make the calculations, no problem. Yes. Now we have the third problem. Note down the third one. How much work is done? How much work is done in moving a charge of 3 coulomb? How much work is done in moving a charge of 3 coulomb across 2 points having the potential difference of 15 volt? Having the potential difference of 15 volt. Okay, a simple one, a direct one.
Sir, repeat once again, sir.
How much work is done in moving a charge of 3 coulomb across 2 points having a potential difference of 15 volt? You must be fast enough because you are not small kids. Okay, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಯಾಕಡೆ ಕುಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೈ ಓಡಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂತ ಬಿದ್ದುಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಹಳ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. Yes, see what they have given. They have given charge, that is q is equal to 3 coulomb, and the potential difference v is equal to 15 volt. These are the two things they have given, and they have asked you to calculate what is the work done. Okay, amount of work done. Yes, for this also again we have one formula, because we know that what is potential difference. Potential difference is the amount of work done in moving the uh, unit charge from one point to another point. Correct. So therefore, I want the work done here. So work done W is equal to V into Q. If you make a small modification or if you transpose Q to the left hand side, we get work done is equal to V into Q. That's all. Okay. So therefore, substitute the values. V is 15 and Q is 3. 15 3s are 45. So amount of work done W is 45 joule, because work is always expressed in terms of joule only. Usually for 1 marks and objective type questions, they give such examples. Okay, simple example, but you must know what formula is used for handling this particular situation. Over? I hope it is over.
Yes, sir.
Not so big. Next, take the next problem. Calculate the potential difference between two terminals of a battery. Two terminals of a battery. If 100 joule of work is done, 100 joule of work is done to transfer the charge of 20 coulomb 20 coulomb from one terminal of the battery to the other, from one terminal of the battery to the other. I repeat, check it out. Calculate the potential difference between two terminals of a battery if 100 joule of work is required to transfer the charge of 20 coulomb from one terminal of the battery to other. See, they have given the amount of work done in transferring the charge of 20 coulomb. Okay, so the amount of work done is 100 joule. Then they ask you what is the potential difference which is present between the terminals of the battery. Very simple. Again, the same formula has to be used. That is V is equal to W divided by Q. Okay, the W value is 100 and Q is 20. No need to make any conversion, nothing. Direct calculation. 0 cancelled, 2 5s are. Therefore, V is equal to 5 volt. Okay, so the potential difference across the terminals of the battery is 5 volt. Simple problem, very simple. Such problems are useful for you to attempt the 1 marks questions.
Over, sir.
Yes, take the next problem. How much work is done how much work is done in moving a charge of in moving a charge of 2 coulomb 2 coulomb from a point of from a point of 118 volt 118 volt from a point of 118 volt to a point of to a point of 128 volt 128 volt. So dear students, here they ask you how much work is done in moving 2 coulomb of charge from 2 points, from one point to another point or between the 2 points. So potential at one point is 118 volt and the potential at another point is 128 volt. Therefore, what is the potential difference here? Okay, difference in potential between the two terminals. It is V2 minus V1. Therefore, it is 128 minus 118, or when you make the subtraction, it will be 10 volt. So we know charge and we got the potential difference, right? Therefore, we know the formula. What is that formula? W is equal to V into Q. Just now in the question number 3, we have used that formula. Or you can write V is equal to W by Q and modify it to get W is equal to V into Q. Now substitute the values, it is 10 into 2. Therefore, it is 20 joule. So 20 joule of work is done in moving the charges between those 2 points. If you want, you can write the answer in terms of sentence. Once you get the final answer in terms of numericals, you can write the answer in terms of sentences also.
Over, sir.
Yes, hope you have written it.
Yes, sir.
Take the next problems. Sixth one. The potential difference between the terminals, the potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 75 volt is 75 volt is 75 volt when it draws a current of when it draws the current of 5 ampere 5 ampere from the source. When it draws the current of 5 ampere from the source, continue. What current will heater draw? What current will heater draw if the PD is increased to if the PD is increased to 150 volt,
Please repeat, sir.
what current will heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 150 volt? Yes, dear students, here observe it. Already they have given that 5 ampere of current will be drawn from the source when the potential difference is 75 volt across the terminals of the heater. Okay, there is one electric heater. Across the terminals of that electric heater, the potential difference is 75 volt and it draws the current of 5 ampere. If the same electric heater is connected to a source of 150 volt instead of 75 volt, to a source of 150 volt, then how much current will be drawn from that? So that is the question. Here it is completely based on Ohm's law. Okay, it is based upon the Ohm's law. So when we observe the Ohm's law and equation of Ohm's law, we come to know about one more concept, that is resistance of the electric heater, right? Resistance of the electric heater. Here the resistance of the electric heater is not given, and without the resistance of the electric heater we cannot find the value of current even though the potential difference is there. Okay, so therefore first we have to start with the Ohm's law only. From the Ohm's law we know that V is equal to R into I. Okay, therefore R is equal to V divided by I. What is this R? It is the resistance of the heater. R is nothing but resistance of the heater. If you want, you can write R is resistance of the heater. Okay. So first we have to calculate the resistance. How to calculate? Making use of the V and I given. V is 75 and I is 5. Therefore, R is equal to 5 ones are 5 fives are. So it is 15 ohm. Resistance of the coil is, or resistance of the heater is known. Now using this resistance we can find very easily the current which is there if the potential difference is 150 volt. So if V is equal to 150 volt, then see again using the Ohm's law. What is the formula for I? I is equal to V divided by R. Okay. So V is how much? 150. R is 15. Hence the current drawn will be 10 ampere. See here. Observe the two answers here. In the second case, current drawn is 10 ampere. In the first case, current drawn is 5 ampere. So current in the second case is double of that of current in the first. And observe the potential differences also. Potential difference in the first case is 75 volt. In the second case, it is double. It is 150 volt. As the potential difference is doubled, the current is also getting doubled. Okay. That's why we say that current and voltage are directly proportional to each other. If we increase the potential difference, the current also increases in that way only. Hence, we get the linear graph when we draw the graph of current to voltage, VI graph. If voltage is taken along x-axis and current is taken along y-axis, then if we plot the graph, then that graph will be a straight line because of this reason only. Okay. Yes. Have the solution. Is there any doubt regarding the sixth problem? Sixth problem is based on the Ohm's law. I'm considering all the problems, right, which are there, the equations which are there in the chapter. So related to all those equations, I'm taking the problems. Written? Have you written?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then let us go to the next problem. Next problem. ಎಷ್ಟನೇದು ಇದು problem? What is the number?
7.
7, sir.
7. Is it 7?
Yes.
A wire of given material, a wire of given material having length L, having length L and area of cross section A, having length L and area of cross section A has a resistance of 10 ohm, has a resistance of 10 ohm. What would be the resistance of another wire? What would be the resistance of another wire of the same material, of the same material having the length, having the length L divided by 4 and area of cross section, and area of cross section 2.5
Sir, having a length.
L divided by 4, L by 4, L by 4. It is written on the screen. And area of cross section 2.5 ampere. 2.5 ampere. See, it is a very tricky problem. Observe it. Here, there are two wires of the same material. Okay, assume that both are of copper. Both are made up of the copper material. For wire 1, length is given as L, area of cross section as A, and the resistance is rho. Resistance is 10 ohm. For second wire, length is, I have taken the length as L dash, which is L by 4, 1/4 of the length of the wire 1. Then A dash, that is area of cross section, it is 2.5 times the area of cross section of the wire 1. Then what is the resistance of this wire 2? It has been asked. Okay. Yes, dear students, here as both materials are made up of, both wires are made up of the same materials, their rho remains same, their resistivity remains the same. Okay, remember this point. As both are made up of the same wires, so the resistivity of both wires is same. Okay, because they are made up of the same materials. So we know one formula related to resistivity. We know that what is the formula related to resistivity? Rho is equal to R into A divided by L. This is the formula what we know. Correct. So therefore, rho of wire 1 is equal to rho of wire 2. So according to that, if I write, it is R into A divided by L is equal to R dash into A dash divided by L dash. Because rho is RA divided by L. Correct. Now you substitute the values. See, this R is 10. We don't know A and we don't know L. Keep them as it is. This R dash I have to calculate. What about A? It is 2.5 times of A. A dash is 2.5 times of A and L dash is L divided by 4. Correct, because they are given in the problem. Now you make small change there. That is 10A divided by L is equal to